After months of denials, the army has confirmed 3 captives who died in Gaza late last year were killed by Israeli shelling. The bodies of Elia Toledano, Nick Bazia and Ron Sherman were recovered in December. Israel had previously denied responsibility for their deaths. Military officials say at the time of the attack, there was no intelligence indicating captives were held at the location where they were killed. A senior Hamas official says the group still has enough resources to keep fighting in Gaza despite nearly a year of war. Osama Hamdan's comments come less than a week after Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant told reporters Hamas no longer exists as a military formation in Gaza.
The number of casualties in Hamas is much less than what is expected in a battle of this size, level and breadth. Hamas has a high ability to continue. But to say that its ability today is like the first day, this is not logical, because we sustained 1 year of war. In this war, there are sacrifices which make you different from the first day. There were martyrs and there were sacrifices on a military level, but in return there was an accumulation of experiences and the recruitment of new generations into the resistance.
Let's bring in Marwan Bishara, Al Jazeera's senior political analyst, and he's joining us via Skype from Paris. Good to see you, Marwan. Let's begin with the story of the Israeli captives and the Israeli military admitting that they were most likely killed in an Israeli airstrike. What do you make of them saying that they didn't have the intelligence indicating the captives were at the site of the attack?
I need to start by underlining something that we have spoken about for the whole year. Israel lies. Netanyahu lies pathologically. And when the Israelis speak about everything, whether it is the hostage, whether it is the pretext for the bombings themselves, whether it's Hezbollah missiles or Yemeni missiles, Israel lies. And Israel has many friends in Western capitals that also lie on behalf of Israel. There are entire establishments, foreign ministries, defense ministries, public relation companies, institutes in the West and in Israel that lie on behalf of the Israeli government. That certainly includes most of the media that continues to focus on the 100+ Israeli captives while ignoring the 10,000+ new Palestinian captives in Israeli captivity that were basically collected randomly the past year and were basically pushed into unknown prisons, tortured, raped, attacked in various ways, with countless reports now being exposed or exposing the Israelis for what they're doing. But the focus continues on the 100+ Israeli captives, many of whom are soldiers, because Israel continues to drive the agenda. The United States continues to drive the agenda. Israel will continue to fight its war in Gaza. It will continue to bomb its Gaza. And probably the Netanyahu government, of its fascist and fanatic ministers, will continue to hope, I think, that the Israelis will end up either rescued or dead, because they do not want to negotiate any further any sort of a permanent ceasefire with the Palestinians.
Marwan, you say that Israel and the United States are still driving the agenda, but their narrative has certainly never been as challenged as it is now and over the last 11 months of this war.
Look, this has been, by every single definition, an asymmetrical warfare. That's why it's almost refreshing, I must say, for Osama Hamdan, the Hamas spokesperson, to admit finally that they are losing and they are not what they used to be. Yes, they might be still present, and yes, they might still be able to resist. But this is an asymmetrical warfare. The fact that Hamas could withstand this genocidal war for 11 months, more than any Arab regime was able to do so since 1948, that in and by itself is a miracle in an asymmetrical warfare. The fact that Israel was under occupation and was under siege more than 17 years, occupation for almost 6 decades, and still able to do what it has done, with the Palestinians dying in their tens of thousands, with casualties over 100,000. The fact that this continues while the world continues to be indifferent, while the United States continues to support it, that in and by itself is a miracle in an asymmetrical warfare. But the United States in particular has been quite deceptive in more ways than one. You still hear this week every single American official saying something about the war must stop. The war must stop. The war must end. There must be a ceasefire. But this is the same American government, the same Biden administration, that continues to fuel this war. They paid for the car, they polished the car, they filled the car with gas, they keep pushing the gas pedal, and they say stop. How could it stop when they're doing all of these things in order to speed up the genocidal war in Gaza? That's the question.
Marwan, thank you very much for your analysis. We really appreciate it. That is Marwan Bishara, live in Paris.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.